Hi guys, welcome to the Economic Playbook. My name is Kola Waliolani, your host, and today we're going to be discussing something interesting and totally different as always. What if I told you football could generate more revenue for Nigeria than crude oil in the coming decades? This may sound ambitious, yes, but that's the untapped potential we are sitting on. Football is more than just a sport in Nigeria. It's a culture, it's an identity, it's the one thing that unites 200 million Nigerians across different tribes, classes, and religions. But here is the real question. Can we turn that passion into profit? Can football become a real contributor to Nigeria's GDP like it does in other countries? Well, in this video, I'll break down football's current economic impact in Nigeria and compare it with countries like the UK, Brazil, and South Africa, and propose possible steps to unlock its full potential in Nigeria. Stay with me. First of all, let's talk about the numbers. Nigeria's football ecosystem, despite its popularity, remains massively under-commercialized. I was watching the Champions League final the other day, and I heard someone say the prize money of the Champions League final can finance the whole NFL, and I wondered if this was true. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, not only did I find out that it would sponsor the NFL, I also discovered that the prize money from the Champions League would sponsor the whole Nigerian sport development budget for 55 years. According to PwC's 2023 Africa Sport Outlook, sports contributes less than 0.5% to Nigeria's GDP, in contrast with South Africa's GDP, where sports contributes over 2.1% to GDP, largely driven by football. So where does football touch the Nigerian economy? Well, speaking in terms of revenue generation streams, the first revenue generation stream is broadcasting. The Super Eagle matches command massive viewership, yet local league games have almost no consistent TV presence or revenue model. Secondly, employment. Football indirectly employs thousands, including players, coaches, caterers, vendors, content creators, but poor league management limits job creation. Thirdly, merchandising. Nigeria has one of the most recognizable football jerseys globally, but little is done to monetize this at scale locally. Fourthly, tourism and infrastructure. Our stadiums are poorly maintained. Imagine the tourism revenue if Nigeria hosted AFCON or FIFA Under-20s with modern infrastructure. Now, this is a fun fact. The Nigerian Professional Football League, NFPL, is worth less than $10 million in commercial value. For comparison, South Africa's Premier Soccer League, PSL, has a $277 million deal with SuperSport as at 2024. Let's zoom out. Let's look at other countries outside Africa. Let's look at the United Kingdom. The English Premier League is the most watched sport league globally. According to Statista, it contributed about 7.6 million euros to UK GDP in 2022. Over 100,000 jobs are directly tied to football in the UK. What is their secret? Robust club licensing, private ownership, global broadcasting deals, and strong player development. Let's look at another country, which is Brazil. Brazilian clubs are cashing out through player exports. In 2023 alone, Brazil earned over $1.2 billion from player transfers. That's more than our entire league's market value. They also host football tourism, and that is why, even though some of us have never left Nigeria, we know the real Maracana Stadium. Now, let's come back to Africa and look at a neighboring country, which is South Africa. The 2010 FIFA World Cup was a game changer, in which the World Cup boosted infrastructural spending by $3.6 billion in South Africa, and this created jobs. It gave global visibility to the South African League, and currently, the league now earns from broadcasting, digital content, and live games. So what is the key takeaway? The key takeaway is that talent is not enough in the Nigerian Football League, as other countries treat football as a serious economic sector which is regulated, incentivized, and strategically marketed. Nigeria needs a proper revenue generation model to be able to actualize the potential in our economy. Nigeria doesn't lack footballers, we actually export footballers. What we lack is a proper football economy. So how do we fix this? To fix this gap is by introducing globally accepted football sports industry policy. Secondly, we are also looking at private sector involvement where telcos and fintechs can monetize fan engagement through fantasy leagues, mobile broadcasting, and ticketing apps. And we also have youth and grassroots development, where the government invests in academies and school leagues, where they think long-term talent pipeline and local club loyalty. And fourthly, looking at commercialization, where we develop media rights packages for NFL and the women's football. And also, we're also looking at exploring international friendlies and club partnership with foreign teams. Football is already Nigerians' favorite pastime. Now, it needs to be our next big economic sector. countries that treat football like a business win off the pitch and as much as they do on the pitch. Let's turn this passion into a sustainable economic model. Let's kick off a football economy with one goal, one job, and one investment at a time. Thank you.